Welcome to the Viscer podcast. Today we're going to discuss and do a deep dive into sugar. Based on science, what it does to our bodies, what it does to our mind, what it does to our metabolism, what it does to aging, all the consequences, and what to look for. Like, how is the food industry dealing with this? Their dirty little secret. How are they hiding it? We're going to uncover all of this and more. And I'm going to equip you to be able to know how to make healthier choices today. Let's get on it. Okay, let's start out with the calories in, calories out, which we did 2 episodes ago in the weight management, right? So a calorie is a measurement of energy. It's what we associate, it's kilocalories actually, with food, liquids, everything that goes into our body. If we take in as much as we give out, then our weight stays the same, and so, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So if we want to lose weight, we need to drop the calories, the daily intake, and then we start losing weight. But is every calorie the same? Yeah, calories are calories. That's not a difference. Okay? They're a unit of measurement, period. But when a calorie from a certain substance touches our mouth and goes into our body, it changes. Why? Because it interacts with our body. It interacts with our hormones. It interacts with our digestive system. It interacts with our metabolism. It interacts with our hormonal system, with our brain. Not every calorie is equal to every calorie. When you have proteins, these are used for muscle synthesis and protein synthesis. Good. When you have fat, it's 1-to-1, meaning that fat goes to like fat, but it's not that dangerous as we used to think. Then we have carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are sugars, okay? Now, they go from simple to complex. The only difference is with the simple sugars, it's like your sugar. This, what we're going to talk about today. That's your simple sugar. It's basically sucrose. Okay. This is where it becomes interesting because these simple sugars and then complex sugars, so your carbs, rice, bread, pasta, all this is carbs, all those are sugars, okay? But they have fiber in them. So the uptake into the bloodstream is slower. And we're going to talk about this because it has an impact, okay? This goes directly in. And when our carbohydrates goes directly into our bloodstream, we get a spike in insulin. That spike in insulin is detrimental. Why? That spike in insulin means that our body's overreacting. It's pushing everything that's in the body to fat. It goes to fat storage right away. And there's a whole plethora of things that happen due to insulin that is not good for us. So we need to control insulin, all right? And which means we need to control the type of carbs we eat, when we eat them, and how we eat them. We'll go through that. Today is sugar. It's a simple carb. Now, we have glucose. We have fructose. Okay. When we look at fructose, now fructose, you know, from fruits, right? Fruits have fructose, yeah, but it's bound with fiber, a lot of fiber. If you eat fruits, no problem. You drink fruit juice, you got a problem. Eat fruit with fiber, with the skin, with everything in it, no problem. Drink the fruit juice, you might get a problem. All right. When we look at glucose and fructose, we see that fructose has a complete different action in our body, okay? Glucose, basically, we consume glucose with everything, carbohydrates, whatever, simple, complex carbohydrate, doesn't matter, turns into glucose. We absorb that. This is what happens. Some of it goes to our liver, if our liver needs it. Remember, our liver is small compared to the rest of our body. The rest goes into every cell in our body, needs it or not. Now, if we overdo it, then we get a spike in insulin. That insulin grabs it and shoves it into our fat cells and makes more fat. If we have large muscles, our muscles can absorb it. All right? So that's why people like bodybuilders, people that train, people that have some muscle, can take more carbohydrates because their muscles can absorb it. If you're a couch potato, if you're not moving around, you're going to have tough luck. and it's gonna be a problem. So we're gonna have to look at it. Okay, fructose, on the other hand, this is what it does. Fructose, there's no use in our body, no use. So why do products have it? It's addictive. It makes products super, super attractive to our palate, to our brain. Full stop. So when we get fructose in our system, which is 73% of all products in your grocery store. Yes, you heard me. 73% of all products in your grocery contain this. Okay? All your snacks, all your fast food, even your bread that doesn't go stale in 2 days, that takes a week to 2 weeks, it's sugar they put in there. Everything. When you look in the ingredients list, and if there's the high fructose corn syrup, which is what they use in everything, cereals, or your cornflakes, Fruit Loops, all that stuff, laden with this stuff, okay, which is 125 glucose, 125 fructose, the deadly combo. What happens with fructose? Fructose goes to the portal vein, right? From the intestines to the portal vein, straight to the liver. Doesn't go to the body. Very little goes into the body, into the bloodstream. It goes straight to the liver. Actually, before it goes to the liver, it actually turns into fat. When it goes into the liver, can't do anything with it, turns into fatty liver. Fatty liver disease. Not only that, it creates inflammation, produces uric acid, which then affects the kidneys, etc., etc. So then we have this really fun kind of thing that happens. So the liver, basically when this starts happening in the liver, the fat goes that the liver makes from fructose and from glucose, of course, goes into and the body starts to get inflamed, goes into the vascular system, okay? Starts basically at the epithelial cells, meaning the lining of your arteries, starts creating plaque, starts creating hardening, all right? That, in turn, goes to the heart problems. The heart then, the problems from the heart also goes to the insulin that we talked about, insulin resistance. We start getting that, which then connects back to the liver. So this is what we call the metabolic syndrome. And it's high blood pressure, diabetes, visceral fat, stroke, heart disease, blurred vision. You know what visceral fat does, right? When you have this, and one of the things that happens is when the liver gets too fatty, it goes and pours the fat out into the organ area, okay, which creates visceral fat. Remember the fat you can't see, the invisible fat, but the real deadly fat? That's what it's creating right there, okay, causing havoc, causing just insulin spikes, overproduction of insulin, your insulin resistance, you start getting insulin resistance, you become pre-diabetic and eventually diabetic. And you don't have to be fat. You just have to have fatty liver and visceral fat. So these people in India that have extreme amounts of, higher than the US, of diabetes. China has higher diabetes. Why? And a lot of them are not fat. Why? Because of this. Now, the food industry has disguised this in everything they make. All processed foods has these sugars, fructose, glucose in a combination, which is high fructose corn syrup. Why? It's cheap. It's sweet. It's the best tasting you can make for the body. So the brain, the body, the mouth, everything craves this. So what's the research we got? Here we go. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that sugary beverages increase fat storage. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things where we find a lot of this glucose-fructose combo, high fructose corn syrup, guess where? Soda. Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi, the whole thing. All of them. Everything. All right? Even the iced tea you love. Okay, they found that sugary beverages increase fat storage in the liver and muscle, highlighting liquid sugar's unique risk. It's deadly. It's deadly. So now you know, right? Glucose, a little bit goes to the liver, rest goes into the body. If you can't get rid of it in the body, it goes to store as fat, insulin goes up. We need to keep insulin down because insulin is going to make us obese. Period. Insulin is going to give us diabetes, type 2. Insulin is going to cause heart disease. And it triggers the inflammation in our body. It triggers everything. Everything starts going wrong. One of the cycles I just showed you, the metabolic syndrome, is one of them. Let's go to another one. Let's see what fructose does with our mitochondria. Remember mitochondria? Mitochondria are basically the alleles in our cells that produce energy. ATP, ADP, and every cell needs it. That's how we live. That's how we can produce energy. That's how we can take kilocalories from outside, convert it to energy in our bodies, and do all the things we need to do. 60% of everything we eat gets used to just run this machine. 60% of all the calories we eat is used to just run the brain, all the cells in my body, so I can move, so I can talk, so I can do my things, so I can function. We're not talking about physical movement. We're not talking about anything else. Burning of calories because of the types of food we eat. We're not talking about. We're talking just running the body, just staying alive. Okay, mitochondria is super important. Super important. And the liver does mitochondrial biogenesis, which means it produces more mitochondria when needed. Okay, and we need mitochondria because that's the energy of the cell. A runner, someone that this distance works, that has a high VO2 max, guess what? They got great mitochondria working double time, plus they got more mitochondria than most people. Okay. Fructose starts shutting down mitochondria. Yep, it does. What happens when fructose enters the body? 3 things happen. 3 enzymes start shutting down at cellular level. In the cell we're talking here, okay? AMP kinase, okay? Which is the enzyme that triggers our liver to build more mitochondria. Stops, boom. Then it's tracked. AADL, CPT1, carnitine, fatty acids it basically takes those from the outer membrane it pushes them into the inner membrane of the mitochondria. Stops working, so the mitochondria stops producing slowly. It's not something that'll kill you right away, like arsenic or anything like that, but slowly, this is what's happening to our bodies when we keep consuming sodas, when we keep consuming processed foods like chips, candy, we're eating Mars bars or any of these things chronically every day in a package, opening the package and eating this. This is what's happening to our bodies. Okay, we're inducing cancer cells to grow. We're inducing Alzheimer's, cognitive decline. All right, these are just a few things that are happening at cellular level, at the cellular level. When we look at this, we look at, okay, so why is the food industry doing this? Why is it? Well, this is it. It's everything we see is influenced by the food industry. That's a big money group. They need stuff to be a certain way. If you look at their sales in anything that's processed, highly processed foods like cereals for our kids, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal how much money they make with that. And how easy it is for us to feed our kids that. But when we feed our kids that, let's say we do a bowl of Fruit Loops with milk and an orange juice. Okay. Our children are supposed to have a maximum of 12 grams of sugar a day. That alone, what I just told you, the Fruit Loops with milk and a glass of orange juice, is 40 grams of sugar. What do you think that does to your kid? Why do you think your kid has ADD? Why do you think your kid's going to have problems later with his heart, with keeping his weight down, with everything, with heart disease? This is why. This is where it starts. So is this real? Is this like something we need to take seriously? I think so. I think so. It's killing us. Literally. I'm not exaggerating. Not exaggerating. And it's hidden in all our food. 73% of anything you can buy in a grocery store has these sugars latent inside. So it tastes better. So you'll buy it again. So you want it. Even our bread's laced with sugar. Okay. What does it do to our intestines? It's another one. So the sugar finally comes down to our intestines, right? Most of it is gone. Some fructose makes it down to the large intestines. Now, our large intestines have the epithelial cells, of course, of the lining. Now, the large intestines, this is already the sewage system of our body, right? You got to think of it as sewage. You want to keep the sewage, just extract the good stuff, what's needed, but keep the sewage. So it's a containment system that has a wall with different layers. One of the layers is a mucus layer. That's very important. This is all maintained by the microbiome. And we have billions, hundreds of billions of microbiomes in our gut. These are organisms that live in us, with us. They're actual living organisms in our gut. Billions, more than the cells in our body. They're living with us. They make sure that our gut is able to produce certain vitamins, certain amino acids that are essential. You name it. A plethora of stuff. Look back at episode 1, 2, and 3 on the microbiome. Too much to mention. The gut-brain health, the gut-heart health, everything. It basically controls our mood. This happens in your gut, right there. So the gut lining has these proteins in between that kind of hold it together, okay? And these proteins disintegrate, lose their strength when fructose comes into the game. Okay? So when this happens, all of a sudden, the barriers go. The barriers go. And when the barriers go, you got leaky gut. Stuff, so sewage starts leaking out of your intestines into your body. Think that's a good idea? No, it's not a good idea. What else happens? Your microbiome can't process this. Your microbiome needs fiber to feed itself. If it's not getting fiber, not getting enough food, either fiber or fermented foods, it's going to start eating you. It's going to start eating the lining. You don't want that to happen. These microbiome cannot feed on sugar. They cannot feed on fructose. They need fiber. So your diet needs to be high in fiber. Okay, that's what they need continuously. So at that level, we're creating even more issues for our health. It's a disaster. And it connects to our mental health. It connects to Alzheimer's. It connects to dementia. It connects to cognitive decline at an early age, starting early on. Fructose, sugar, yes. And everything that is laced in our food. So we've had, up to now, 3 massive examples. What it does to visceral fat and our liver, how that affects, again, our insulin, how we become insulin resistant. We look at how it affects our intestinal walls. We look at how it affects our brain. We see that it creates havoc when it comes to our kids. And this is mostly what our kids are eating. Everything is laced with high fructose corn syrup. From cereals to the snacks they eat, to everything that's packaged, all the cookies they eat, all the cookie dough cookies they eat. It's all laced with high fructose corn syrup. It's addictive. It's addictive on the level of, let's see here, another study. Ever felt a craving for something sweet? Found it hard to resist? Mount Everest in Utero is the name of the study. From the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology suggests sugar can be addictive, affecting our brains similar to drugs of abuse, heroin, cocaine, you name it. It's not just about the lack of willpower. Sugar alters the brain circuits related to food cravings and satisfaction, making it a formidable opponent. Yes, research, not just me talking. We have an episode on visceral fat, the hidden fat, everything it does, how it destroys our metabolism, how it creates heart disease at a cellular level. Man, at a cellular level, this is what we're creating. This is what we're creating at a cellular level. Here we go. Because food science is like farm to fork, the idea. Nutrition is from what you put in your mouth to the cell. That's how we analyze it. Metabolic health is inside the cell, deeper level. So what happens inside the cell? You know what happens inside the cell? Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, cardiovascular disease, cancer, dementia, fatty liver disease, polycystic ovarian disease, etc. This is what's happening with sugar inside the cell. This is what's happening. You got complete mitochondrial dysfunction. When your mitochondria starts dysfunctioning, it's over. Slowly, it's over. So do we need to take this seriously? Yes. What do I want you to do? I want you to start eating more whole foods. Okay? Meaning an apple, like an apple. Fruits, vegetables, protein. Eat some fat. It's okay. And protein, meats, chicken, fish, whatever. Watch with your simple carb. Watch with the starches. Okay? Watch out. Lower bread intake. And when you eat bread, try to eat real bread from the baker. That goes bad in 2 days. Once in a while when you want to eat it. Don't eat it every day. Don't eat it every day. It's high. It has high glucose. It's going to spike your insulin. It's going to cause problems. Same for rice. Same for pasta. Same for potatoes. Sweet potatoes are better. Get fiber. Get a lot of fiber into your system. If you need to supplement with fiber, but get the fiber in. It's critical. It's critical for your gut health. It's critical for your overall health. We talked about how your protein needs to be. Start shopping that way. Start eating that way. Dessert once in a while is good at night, but cookies in the morning, cookies at lunch, no good. No good. All right? I hope this helps. We're going to have more episodes that are going to focus on this stuff. This is an initial real hit on sugar. Remember, subscribe, ring the bell notification. Come on, join. Let's go. This is a good journey. We got some serious topics. We got some less serious topics. We got everything here. But you're going to be healthier. You're going to be informed. And you're going to make better decisions. Thank you. See you soon.